Have you ever stopped to think about what's running, well, everything? I'm talking about the invisible code that powers our modern world. You know, from your Netflix queue to your bank's fraud alerts, there's this one programming language that's just quietly working behind the scenes. So what is it, and how in the world did it get everywhere?
Yeah, that's a really good question, right? How does one single language become so essential that it's touching basically every part of our digital lives? Well, the answer comes down to something we're all creating, literally every single second, and that's data. I mean, just think about it.
You know, the way your streaming service seems to know, exactly know, what movie you're going to be in the mood for tonight.
Or how about that online store that predicts what you need to buy next? Sometimes it feels like it knows before you do.
And then there's the system that instantly flags a weird charge on your credit card, saving you from a massive headache. The common thread here, the thing that connects all of this.
Yep, you guessed it. That common thread is data. We're basically living in a digital flood, and just trying to make sense of it all is one of the biggest challenges of our time.
And for the giants out there, companies like Netflix, Google, Amazon, this isn't just a challenge, it's pretty much the challenge. They're swimming in billions and billions of data points. Everything from what you watch to what you search for, they desperately need a tool to turn all that raw noise into actual smart decisions.
And that tool, that simple, elegant solution to this absolutely massive data problem, is a language called Python.
Now, you might be surprised to hear that Python isn't some new kid on the block. It was actually released way back in 1991. And a little fun fact for you, it was named after the comedy group Monty Python, not the snake. But its total dominance in the world of data, that's way more recent. It really started to take off around 2015, when all these powerful new tools were built just for it. And the reason for that explosion in popularity? Well, it's actually pretty simple.
Okay, this right here, this visual, pretty much says it all. On the left, you've got what a lot of code looks like. It's dense, it's complex, it's kind of a headache to look at. And then on the right, you've got Python doing the exact same thing. See the difference? It almost reads like plain English. And let me tell you, that readability isn't just some nice little feature. No, it's an absolute game changer.
Here's a good way to think about it. Imagine you're building a house. Some programming languages, they just give you a huge pile of individual bricks and say, all right, get to work. But Python is different. It gives you whole prefabricated walls and rooms. You're still the one building the house, don't get me wrong, but you can do it so much faster because all that complex, super tedious work has already been done for you.
So, the big question is, how did Python become so dominant in the world of data? Well, it really all boils down to 4 key, let's call them superpowers.
Okay, so these are the big 4. First, you've got a massive ecosystem of really powerful tools. Second, its readability is just off the charts. Third, the sheer speed, how fast you can actually build things with it. And finally, and this is a big one, the huge demand for people who know how to use it. And let's zoom in on that first point, the libraries, because this is absolutely crucial. Just think of these as free, pre-built toolkits that anyone can use. You've got NumPy, which is like the foundation, handling all the heavy-duty math. Then there's Pandas, which is basically Excel on steroids. It's perfect for cleaning up and analyzing massive datasets. Matplotlib, that's your storyteller. It turns all those boring numbers into really clear charts and graphs. And scikit-learn, well, that's the brain. It makes building powerful AI models surprisingly simple.
All right, so that's the why. That's the theory. But let's get into the fun stuff and see how this actually plays out in the real world.
Okay, let's circle all the way back to Netflix. We've all been there, right? Their recommendation engine is almost spookily accurate. So how do they do that? How does it actually work under the hood?
It's basically a 3-step dance, and it's all powered by Python. So first, the system analyzes every single thing you've ever watched. Then, it takes your unique taste and compares it to millions, literally millions of other users. It starts grouping people into what they call taste clusters, which is basically a fancy way of saying it's finding your movie-watching twins out there in the world. And finally, it uses what they loved to predict with just stunning accuracy the very next show that you're going to fall in love with.
But, Python's impact goes way, way beyond just what we watch on a Friday night. It's being used in situations that are literally life or death, like helping doctors diagnose diseases.
So in this case, an AI model built with Python gets fed thousands upon thousands of medical images. We're talking X-rays, scans, the whole deal.
The model just learns. It learns to spot tiny anomalies and patterns that even a trained human eye might miss. Now, it's not replacing the doctor, not at all. It's acting like an incredibly powerful assistant, flagging potential issues and helping that doctor make faster and more accurate diagnoses.
And look, these examples, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. When we look to the future, Python's role is only going to become more and more critical. I mean, you just have to look at the job market. It tells the story loud and clear. The demand for data scientists who can use these tools is expected to grow by a whopping 36% in the next few years. To put that in perspective, that is massively faster than the average job. And, right at the heart of all that demand, you guessed it, it's Python.
And that's because Python isn't just the language of data anymore. It's really become the engine of modern artificial intelligence. Think about it. From self-driving cars to all the incredible AI art you see online, so many of the breakthroughs that are defining our future are being built on a Python foundation. So here's the really crucial takeaway. The technology itself, that's always going to change. But the skills you develop from working with a language like Python, those are timeless. It fundamentally teaches you a new way to think, a structured, logical way to tackle really complex problems. And that's a skill that's valuable in any field, not just tech.
And all this brings us to the real big question, doesn't it? We have this incredible tool that lets us understand the world through data in a way that was frankly impossible before. So the question for all of us isn't just what can we build with this, but rather what should we build with it?